Welcome to lesson 152, Graph Rational Functions. Here's our objective. Here's a definition. Okay, so now we looked at rational functions in the last series. Now, today we're going to graph them. So, in this lesson, we're going to graph them. So it's very important that we start looking at excluded values, because excluded values make up the asymptotes. The vertical asymptotes at least. So let's look at an example. All right, so graph xy equals 4. So y, let me pull up a pencil. So we know when we convert this over, divide both sides by x, it's 4 over x. And we showed you how to graph those in the last one. So you cannot put in 0 into the bottom. So let's start at 1. When x is 1, y is 4. When x is 2, y is 2. 3 is nothing. 4 is 1. And then we start getting the fractional parts. 5 is 4/5. 4/6. 8. 4/8, make a half. All right, so that's what's going on. So let's graph this. We go over 1 and up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over 2 when we get to 2. 4 is at 1. And then 5, 6, 7, 8 is at a half. So basically we're looking like this. And because x is on the bottom, if we set x equals to 0, that means x is a vertical asymptote of this function. When x equals any constant, it's a vertical line. When y equals a constant, it's a horizontal line. And it goes side to side. So I just wanted us to remember that from graphing, so that when we see more rational functions, we won't get confused. All right, so graph xy minus 2y equals 4. So basically what we're going to do is factor out a y. We get x minus 2 equals 4. Divide both sides by x minus 2. We get y equals 4 over x minus 2. Okay, so we find the excluded value. If we set x minus 2 equals 0, we get a vertical asymptote at when x is 2. And so I'm going to plug this into the calculator. I'm not going to worry about a table of values. I'm going to see what we get. Okay, so when you plug this in the calculator, this is how you're going to have to type it in. You're going to hit the y equals button at the top left. You're going to hit clear to clear out any function. But you do 4 divided by... Now, when you have a polynomial on the bottom, you need a parentheses. The parentheses button are over your 8 and 9. So you're going to hit the button over 8, open a parentheses. You're going to hit xt theta n is right next to the green alpha button. You're going to hit the minus. You're going to hit 2. And then you're going to close the parentheses, which is over the 9. Then you're going to hit the graph button. Make sure you put your polynomial into parentheses, or to just do 4 over x and then it'll do minus 2 afterwards. And that's not what the function is. And our function looks something like this on the calculator. Okay, so let's look at our next example. y equals 4 over x minus 3 plus 1. So x minus 3 is on the bottom, and you know you can't divide by 0. So if we set x minus 3 equal to 0, we get x equals 3. So we have a vertical asymptote at x equals 3. And we will also have a horizontal asymptote here that's off. And so now, how you put this in the calculator, because this is separate from the plus 1, you're going to have to insert another parentheses. And so our asymptote is at 1, and then we go down, and we go down. So if any number is next to x added or subtracted, that makes a vertical asymptote. If some number is added to our rational expression, that makes the horizontal asymptote. Okay, so I didn't make a table of values of this. I just used the calculator. So let me show you how to put this in the calculator. So what you're going to do is hit the y equals button. And if you need to clear out any functions, hit the clear button. It's right under the arrows. You are going to need to open up a parentheses and then do 4 divided by parentheses, which is over the 8, open parentheses. It's 2 open parentheses. X minus 3 xt theta n, it's right next to the green alpha button, minus 3. Now, because you have 2 parentheses open, you got to close using 2 parentheses. If you don't close using 2 parentheses, you're going to get an error message. Or you may get something that you don't want. And then add 1. And then hit graph. And you will see what you have. Okay. So there you go. All right. So those were our practice problems. Please take in mind those graphing hints when working on the problems. Whatever's next to your x, if it's added or subtracted, that's going to make a vertical asymptote. And whatever is added to the whole thing outside of the x is going to be your horizontal asymptote. Okay, so y equals 6 over x. We all know that that looks like that, with our horizontal and vertical asymptote being on the x and y axis. Okay, so same thing here. Factor out of y, you get x plus 2 equals 6. Y equals 6 over x plus 2. If I set the bottom x plus 2 equal to 0, I get x equals negative 2. So that means negative 2 is an excluded value over the whole graph. All right, so your graph is going to look something like this and something like this, with your vertical asymptote on the x-axis. Okay, so let's graph y equals 6 over x minus 2. If I set x equal to 0, that means the x-axis is my vertical asymptote, and negative 2 is my horizontal one. I'm just drawing that in here, and I'm going to graph it, and it's going to look something like this. and something like that. And so one more. Same function, y equals 6 over x minus 2 plus 2. Okay, set x minus 2 equal to 0. You get a vertical asymptote at positive 2. And then the 2 makes your horizontal asymptote. And that means your graph is going to look something like this. And there you go. That's graphing rational functions. We did some pretty easy ones. They get a little bit more complicated, but we solved all of solving rational functions in the last series. I have about 9 or 10 videos dealing with that, so please go back and watch some of them for a quick refresher, and come back and watch this video to help you with graphing. So thank you for watching the video. I hope these help, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.